Hello everyone, and welcome to the series premiere of Star Trek Aristotle, an original series game of Star Trek adventures using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and today, as you can see, we're on a very much a lower tech compared to my other streams of Star Trek adventures. The reason for that is just because I wanted to go back to kind of the olden days where I didn't have to be on camera all the time and I could focus more on the game than on camera. So we're going to try this out. In worst case, we can always maybe do cameras down the line, but that's a future problem. The good news is that we have a brand new crew, except for Shizno. Shizno's returning, if you remember him from the channel. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So if each of you could introduce yourselves, anything you want to shout out, and then tell us who you're playing, starting with Shizno.
Oh man, on the spot already. Hi, I'm Shizno. I have played Crowley in the past, Galen, and a few others. I hang around the community. I mostly lurk. I make memes and bad puns. Yeah. And I never play characters that seem what they were supposed to be, so thumbs up. I look forward to playing with everyone.
Very nice, very nice. Lieutenant Commander Krell.
Hi, I'm King Cairo. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Chal Krell, the Bolian Chief Engineer of the USS Aristotle. This is my first Star Trek Adventures game, and I'm very excited to join everyone. And yeah, that's everything on my end.
Cool. Lieutenant Thestral.
Okay, nothing to shout out this week, but maybe in a couple weeks. Hey everyone, my name is Arwen. I am playing the ENAR Communications Officer, Lieutenant Thestral, who serves on the Aristotle with the assistance of his visual support Andorian humming owls, who are named Quill and Opus. And in spite of what his previous COs have said, they are adorable and absolutely do not cause mischief.
Not at all. No mischief here. No, nothing like that.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Minetti.
Hi there, folks. My name's Gray. I'm playing Lieutenant Junior Grade Salvatore Minetti, assigned as the Chief of Security for the Aristotle. Not a whole lot to say other than a young officer, and he's eager to show himself.
Very nice. And I do want to give a special shout out to Techno Nerd, who literally beat the buzzer tonight and got us a fancy new introduction. So, Twitch, you get to see this first. Here's that intro video. And welcome back. So, something I like doing for all my Star Trek Adventures games is have the players do an opening log, and Captain Cullen, you have that honor tonight, so please take it away.
Well, we see Captain Cullen in his quarters, and he is just pouring himself a nice bit of, we're going to say some old Earth vintage rum. And he's going to sit down at his desk, and he's just going to hold around for a moment. And he'll simply say, "Computer, record log. Stardate, oh man, 2142.9? Yeah, that sounds about right. Me and the crew have been getting along pretty well with the Aristotle. She's a fine little ship, unique design from what I've seen. And I look forward to exploring the rest of the vessel. The rest of the crew seems pretty good too. I look forward to serving with them. And to give us a new christening mission, Command has given us the joyous mission of looking for a missing ship. The USS Merriweather, an Archer-class survey ship's kind of gone off the deep end as far as we can tell. We last got information it had just entered the Pericles System in search of habitable worlds. Going to test the crew, test out the systems, make sure everything's good and ready for our little jaunt into the Pericles. And hopefully everything's fine with the Merryweather, and we'll simply remind them as protocol to check in every now and then, call home, you know. He'll just sigh for a moment, like, a bit of pause. You know, he'll just read it over and mutter to himself, like, yeah, it's good enough. Computer, save and send log, please.
Very nice. You may have a momentum for that opening log. And you also got a momentum from chat and a complication from chat already. I love it. So, as I did promise, I'm going to let you guys sort of roleplay amongst yourselves to start, because again, you have just arrived on the Aristotle, which is a similar vessel to the Kelsey May, which we see at the very beginning of one of the more recent Strange New Worlds episodes. It's basically the vessel you saw in the opening cinematic from Techno Nerd. But I did want to say that this crew has already gone on one mission together, sort of our session 0. That was not recorded, but we did go through the Xerxes 4 mission together. And so if they start to reference something that doesn't make sense or requires clarification, it's probably because they did it in the session 0. But I did want to leave an open forum to any of you to set up scenes and roleplay with each other before I started throwing plot at you all. So open floor, take it from here.
Well, the captain's going to pull his bridge crew into one of the side rooms he's prepped for whatever necessary needs for the time allotted. And it is a setup with multiple blocks of metal. And there's tools set off to the side there, and he waits for the bridge crew to come in. And as they all pile on in, he's wearing an apron, and he has some goggles, and he has some thick leather gloves. And he just smiles at them. Oh, welcome. Glad to see you all make it on your time off, and I appreciate the effort of coming on down. Please have a seat in front of whatever block piques your fancy.
So Thestral will enter, and he will look around. Look around. He will scan the room, and he has one of his visual support animals, one of his little humming Andorian humming owls, sitting on his shoulder, and he will just acknowledge the captain. Have you set up a trial of Hephaestus for us today, Captain?
Hephaestus or Hephaestus? Both of them, maybe, depending.
Oh, I'm still working on my my Earth cultures. I will sit down next to. I'll sit right in the middle.
Lieutenant Commander Krell, he walks into the room and sits at the nearest table to him. He stares a little quizzically at the hunk of metal in front of him, and opens up the flap of his tricorder he has slung around his shoulder, and starts to try and take some readings of it before looking up to the captain and says, Captain, if you don't mind, may I ask what all of this is? Is this some type of Earth custom?
It's more or less my custom.
Oh, how interesting.
We all going to be taking part of it here? Just waiting on the last one to show up as Manetti.
Yeah, Manetti
And the first officer.
would have waited for the others to take their seats, and then he would take a seat at whichever seat was not taken. He would sit politely, acknowledge the captain, and then I guess just start staring at these hunks of metal. He doesn't seem to know what's going on.
I think that's by design. This is a Shizno thing. So last but not least, Commander River does poke her head into the room. Commander River is about a 5'2" human woman. She has piercingly green eyes and kind of a bob cut of black hair. And she kind of pokes her head and goes, Captain, are you sure I'm necessary for this? Shouldn't one of us be on the bridge in case we hear from the Merryweather?
Oh, it's fine. I got the bridge on command to radio on down if anything pops up here. You come on in too.
All right. I guess I'll take this last block here on the left. I'm sure everyone's already asked this, but why are we looking at blocks of metal?
Well, this is Durasteel. This ship is made with it. And I was good enough friends with the dockmaster, so when this vessel was made, well, this actual metal, was pulled from the first few pieces that was made with it. So, you got a little cutter there. I want all of you to cut off about 1 inch to 2 inch in length, thin if possible, and about 1 inch in height, or maybe a ½ inch, little plate. Now, this little plate, you're going to make sure you engrave the name of the ship on the back of it, and on the front, you leave it blank. You leave it blank, and you keep it on you at all times. For as long as you serve with me, you keep this piece of metal with you. And then on your last day aboard the ship or with me, I want to have your first name initial put onto it, followed by your last name and the date. Because I will add it to my collection of those I have helped and served with and trained. Okay.
So what tools do we have in front of us?
You got yourself a nice little fancy laser cutter. It's Durasteel. I was going to use something a little more hands-on, but Durasteel's really hard to cut into.
Okay, so Thestral will he'll kind of ham it up a little bit and feel around. You know, like even though he knows exactly where the laser cutter is, he'll just stumble a little bit play with it and turn it on and like have it sort of pointed at Minetti. Well, okay. Hey, do I have the pointy end right? It's pointed toward the steel, right, Minetti?
Minetti will say, "If you don't mind, Lieutenant," and he'll attempt to grasp your hands and direct them in the proper direction.
Well, we have a complication from chat, and I feel like being evil. So what's going to happen is...
I'm going to get myself burnt.
Well, in the process of redirecting the torch, what's going to happen is I'm going to roll a D2. If I roll a 1, Thestral, you're our lucky winner. If I roll a 2, Minetti, you're our lucky winner. Survey says, Thestral, you are our lucky winner. Because in the process of redirecting, you lose your grip on the torch. It falls, still lit, and lights your sleeve of your uniform on fire.
Oh, no.
Do you feel something
Going
warm?
Well.
Oh. I'll pat it out. Well, that joke went badly.
I feel like it might be a good idea to locate fire suppressants.
Well, that's the other part of the complication is the moment you get the fire out of your uniform, Thestral, the actual ship fire suppressants kick in a little bit late. And from my understanding in the TOS-era, it was still like foam and stuff. So you were just coated in foam within the span of about 10 seconds.
Well, he'll like just try to, he's like up to it, I guess up to his shoulders.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's just kind of, well, Captain, this has certainly been a memorable team exercise.
No, it certainly is being memorable.
While that's going on, Krell is he's got a very firm grip with the laser cutter. He's very familiar with the tool, and he's diligently carving away his piece. He's almost done when Thestrals gets doused in the foam, and he stops and looks over and then looks up at the emergency fire system. He says, "That was at least 3 seconds too late. I'm gonna have to make a note of that." And takes out his little pad recorder and quickly notes down, add something to his giant list of things to review and look at the Aristotle.
I have a feeling I'm going to be the one cleaning all this up, huh?
Well, I'm not
yeah,
going to do it, says River.
You definitely got that right. Just make sure you're okay first.
I'm fine, Captain. And he clears off enough of the foam, and he takes out his laser scalpel, and he cuts a precision slice off of the Durasteel and carves what you had instructed us to carve in, just fairly quickly.
Hey, that's good to see. Now, I'll have a gift for you too at the end of your tour with the ship. So, when that day comes, expect something back. But as I said, keep it on you.
Aye, sir.
There's a lot that can get passed and ingrained into a little object. Tells a story about the person who held it. And I want all of you to have a good story aboard my ship, under my command. Because at the end of the day, we're out here in a pressurized tin can. We all count on each other to have each other's backs and fronts, and sides, tops, and bottoms. We're more than just a crew. We're going to be more than just comrades on the ship and on the bridge. We're going to become a family. And there's going to be some hardship in that. And I'm here to make sure that you get through it all. Okay?
Sounds good to me, Captain. Nettie is trying to cut himself off a chunk, and it's clear that he's not used to these kinds of tools. He's holding it like as if he was using a hand phaser to melt something.
Krell
his chunk is probably not the straightest.
Krell just holds his tool up, showing the proper way to hold it. And Mr. Minetti, like this.
Okay. Yeah, see, I only got instructed in basic engineering at the academy.
Well, that's good to know. I'm going to be assigning you some more engineering duties then. Just like that piece of steel you're cutting, I'm going to round you all out.
And I think Commander River
Rivers.
actually speaks up to that and says, Captain, I don't mean this in the insulting way, but are you going to be rounding yourself out as well? I have noticed that you've stored a number of rum bottles in your office.
Well, I'm already round enough. He just gives us a little... He's not unfit. It's just he has a little paunt. He just taps it and laughs.
She laughs too, because that was what she was getting at in a nice way.
Captain, you're always welcome to join Mr. Minetti and I in our workout routines in the gym.
He just leans in and just looks at you like, how do you think I am?
I wouldn't want to venture a guess, sir.
Oh, come on. I got a big beard, long hair. What do you think?
I'm not very good with human ages, sir.
Oh, just give it a best guess. 23?
23?
Yeah,
120, 123?
123. Rivers, what's your best guess?
206 years, 5 months, 2 days, 19 seconds.
200 for a human.
Well, you're not human, sir.
That's right. I just happened to look it. How about this? I'll give one of you a very rare vintage bottle, old handmade whiskey, before any distilleries was really a thing. It's found aboard an old vessel, and I've kept it ever since. From Earth, definitely make you either grow hair or you lose your hair. It's one of the two. You guess my age within the last nearest 100 years. It's yours.
So I have a possibly relevant question for the DM.
Sure, what you got?
Is there anything, any of my focuses that might help me identify what the captain is if I don't know already?
Let me take a gander.
That
Your
might help
focuses.
inform my guess.
Yes, actually, your behavioral analysis focus would apply here. I'm just trying to think. Shizno, how do you want to handle this? Do you want them to actually pick a number, or should we do a roll for it?
He has an age.
Okay. So it sounds like we want them to just pick for it rather than roll for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I guess if you want to, I guess we'll do it this way. That way it's fair for everybody. If you want to roll an insight in con or an insight in security, and this goes for everybody, at a difficulty of 1, I'll have Shizno give you a hint, depending if you succeed or not. Also gives you a chance to earn momentum.
Cool. Are we in technically in a scene?
Yes, you are in a scene at the moment. Yep.
Okay. Can I invoke my well-informed talent?
Ooh. Put it in chat so everybody can see what that means. You just click the little com badge next to the talent.
Okay.
All right. You may add 1 to threat to ask 2 questions about the situation or location. Oh, okay. Sure. If you want to give me threat, I'll gladly take it.
Yeah, I'll give you threat.
All right. So you're spending threat to get those 2 questions. Minetti, you succeed with 2 successes, which means you get 1 momentum. And then Krell, do you want to roll yourself?
Yes, I will.
And again, this is just mostly to get everybody reminded how to do the rolling and all that, because that has been 2 weeks. So, all right, and another 2 successes means that you're up to 4 momentum overall. Well done. So, Shizno, I need you to give everybody 1 global hint, and then Thestral's going to get an extra hint from you.
Okay. Let's see. If anyone's visited the captain's ready room, everyone has seen he has a ship listed as like a painting. It's an old painting, oil canvas of a ship simply named the Caravel. And it's a large 2-mast ship with a cross on it. And behind it looks like maybe some of the words on it around the bottom of it, listing different crew members. It looks to be in Portuguese. And for Krell was the one with extra hint, or
Thestral, since they spent their talent there.
Yeah, and my specific question is, are there, through my connections, being a comm officer, and what rumors have I heard about Captain Cullen's species?
Let's see. For species-wise, I would say maybe you could help me with this, L. But everyone has said they've all been trained or had a class with Cullen, and some of these have gone back to people that are far older than you, that may be even retired by now from Starfleet, and he is still teaching. Is that good enough there, Al?
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Does he have a particular accent?
Yes, actually, Shizno is hiding his New Yorker accent. He will now be giving us the finest Little Italy.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of a twinge to my voice, but I'm not good with accents,
No,
as
I
Elle is proclaiming. But yeah, there is. No, implying. There is an accent. It doesn't register. It sounds like it's a mix of possibly different languages that have been spoken for a long time. It's just kind of molded into its own thing.
Oh, you know what? I think I have the perfect way to sum this up. And this is something I learned the other day, that apparently the researchers and families in Antarctica at the bases there, they've developed their own accent or are starting to develop their own accent. So it's very much a refined and very enunciated accent, if I can qualify that.
Yeah, I'd go with that, yeah.
But yeah.
And Eddie will speak up first, and he'll just guess 600.
I haven't been called 600 in a while now. You're getting there.
Krell has a contemplative look on his face and says, "You know, I have never thought that the caravel may have had personal significance to you. Well, that is an old Earth ship. 750.
Nope. I'll give you all another hint. And he's going to reach down and he's going to pull up his pant leg on his left leg. And what you see is he has a prosthetic. It is a essentially a wooden made prosthetic. It has metal grooves or wood grooves that have been filled in with metal, and it is very ornate looking. The wood looks old, but it's been cared for.
Captain, that is a thing of beauty.
Well, should. It's from the ship that took it.
Really appreciate you sharing your truth. I wanted to make sure I said that before I offered a guess onto your age. You may know that my species highly respects confidentiality and privacy. So for you to share something so intimate about yourself in our first meeting is highly significant to me, sir. Thank you. I'm going to guess, I'll just split it down the middle and say 675.
Nope.
Ah, okay.
Rivers, your last one, or I get to keep that bottle?
Let's see. Ship that old. How about 350?
350. Do you all think I look that young? I'm pleased to all hear you say that. Do you want to know the answer?
Captain, had I won, I would have let you keep the bottle anyways. I don't drink.
Oh, you could use it for many special occasions. You know, you could even. I figured if I ever had my own ship built specifically, you know, for me, if I ever had one, you know, with my name on it, you know, the Cullen class, I would use that bottle to christen it. One day, maybe. That's why I keep training everyone, you know? Maybe go like, hey, you know what? My teacher was really cool. I'm going to name a ship after him.
Well, it's funny you say that because the moment those words leave your mouth, you get a comm from the bridge and they say, sir, we are detecting the Merryweather in the Pericles System up ahead. They're not responding to hail, sir, and they are headed on an impulse course into the star.
All right, pick up speed. Let's intercept them immediately.
Aye, sir.
Everyone, done with your carving, so let's get going. I'll tell you the age after, okay? The rivers remind me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. And Thestral, get cleaned up before you come onto the bridge.
Hey, sir. Gladly.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut ahead about 10, 15 minutes as everybody is cleaned up or, gotten themselves presentable, and you report to the bridge. What do I like to imagine for the bridge is it's somewhere between what we've seen of the Nebula class and Strange New Worlds, where for whatever reason in the Next Generation, the Nebula class bridge is really small. Like there's all of maybe 3 consoles in the captain's chair. But we also see in Strange New Worlds that the bridge is expansive and there's, a lot of room to move around. So if you want to imagine a Strange New Worlds, but maybe about a half the size of that bridge, is what I'm getting at here. So the consoles do look brand new. The displays are immaculate. All the lights are actually blinking the way they should. You don't have like a random one that's flickering or anything, because this ship literally rolled off the shipyards about 6 to 8 months ago. So this is technically still part of its quote unquote shakedown cruise. But as you all arrive on the bridge, take your stations, what you do see on the view screen is the USS Merryweather. Now, the Merryweather is a Archer class, which I like to imagine is basically the original series version of a Nova class. So it is a small vessel, about the same scale 3 size as the Aristotle. And it is, as described, heading towards the sun at full impulse speed. It will enter the sun's corona and burn up within the next 2 hours unless something is done.
Okay. Krell, I want you to come up with an idea of how to disrupt its impulse engines to knock it offline if necessary. Let's see if we can try and slow it down first. We got any tractors on this? See if we can use them to slow them down.
Station, can I see if we do have any tractor
Yes, you do.
capability?
In fact, you actually have... let me find it here. Yes, you do have a regular tractor beam. Would you like to try a tractor beam here?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a try.
Alrighty.
I'll try and grab him up, Captain. Would my focus with shipboard tactical systems come into play?
Most definitely it would. I'm just reminding myself what the tractor roll is. Here it is. All right, so this is going to be a control security on your part. And somebody please roll the Aristotle. The Aristotle is going to be doing a structure security. This is a difficulty of 2, so you may wish to spend momentum, you may not. It's totally up to you all. As a reminder, you can buy multiple die using momentum here. If you want to buy 1 die so that you're rolling 3 total, you would spend 1 momentum. If you wanted to roll 4 dice total, you would be spending a total of 3 momentum. And if you wanted to roll 5 dice, you would have to give me 6 momentum. But since you don't have 6 momentum, you would have to give me the 2 extra threat to make up for the missing momentum if you wanted to even go that far.
Yeah. And it would just be 1 to get the extra die?
Yeah, it would just be 1 momentum to roll 3 dice.
I feel like I should take that just because if I do succeed, there's a solid chance of me getting the momentum back. So I'll do the 1 extra for the 1 momentum.
All right. Okay, well, we have a complication on the board. Let's see what the ship rolls, because there could be multiple complications. Okay. One thing I forgot to say about the ship. The ship only rolls 1 die, but it always has a focus. And I'm going to be nice. I'm going to let you take that 1 since you rolled a 1. So that's a grand total of 3 successes, which means you actually get a momentum right back. But there is a complication. So, Manetti, you are able to engage the tractor beam and stop the Merryweather's course into the sun. But the complication is going to be that the impulse engines on the Aristotle begin to short out. Apparently there's some kind of EPS juncture that is on the fritz, and until the tractor beam was engaged, it kind of flew under the radar.
Krell swears under his breath in Boolean and starts attempting to isolate and bypass the affected power conduit until he can get a repair crew down to work on it.
All right. But again, the good news is you've stopped the Merryweather's course into the sun. You've bought yourself some time.
Great.
All right, I'll just focus on making sure that I can maintain that tractor connection.
While he's doing that, I'd like to check on something too.
Sure, what you got?
I'd like to see if there's a way to ascertain if the comm system of the Merryweather is out, or if it's receiving our hails and just no one is responding.
I would say that since you have 4 momentum, I'm just going to give this to you. There is no sign of damage to the Merryweather's comm systems. They should be receiving you. But as part of your question, since you're also kind of playing the role of science officer here, I will tell you that all life signs -1 that should be there are still on the vessel. So 1 person is missing from the Merryweather. And even more curious, I'll even give you this much, all the lifeboats have been jettisoned.
So you're saying all life signs -1 are missing? That's what
No,
you
they're
just said?
there. It's 1 is
Oh, they're
missing.
there. Just 1 is missing. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'll do the classic Spock thing at the move over to the science station temporarily and have that awesome viewer pop out of the controls and have my owl look in at it, and we'll have like a resonant psychic glow for a second in both of our eyes as we're psychically connected, and I'm looking through the owl's senses. And I'll report to Captain Cullen. Captain, all of the crew's life signs are accounted for -1, but I'm detecting life pod jettisons.
How many shuttlecrafts do we have aboard the Aristotle?
Do we have that as a ready answer? Is that like a
Oh, you know what? It would help if I actually pointed out on your sheet. Yes.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have
okay.
2.
It is on the sheet.
Yeah, you have 2 Class Fs. Yes.
Okay, so we have 2 shuttles, Captain.
I'd say let's get them deployed and start grabbing some of those life pods. They have little grapplers on them, I assume, right?
They do.
Excuse me, Captain, may I remind you of medical quarantine protocols?
Well, right now we don't know if anyone's aboard those the life pods. There anything coming up at all for that 1 missing?
Now that would
I'll
require a roll.
do a scan, Captain.
All right.
All right.
So, Thestral, you are going to be rolling me a reason and science. The Aristotle will assist you with a sensor science. The difficulty on this will be a 3.
Okay. Is everyone okay if I spend a momentum on this to get the extra die?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'm subtracting the momentum. Refresh my memory. How do I add a die to this?
So when you hit the perform task button, it's going to pop up a little window and it's going to ask you questions. You would just set it to 3.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see how this goes. And I don't have any applicable focuses here.
All right.
All right, roll die.
Okay, so 2 successes there. And then remember, whoever's rolling for the ship, you're only rolling 1 die, and it always has a focus.
It's sensor science.
Correct. All right, so I will offer you a success with a complication, or you can fail outright. Which would you prefer, Thestral?
Oh, a success with a complication, of course.
All right. So you're going to find out that all of the life pods are actually empty. There are no life signs, deceased or otherwise, within those pods. They are completely empty. But the complication is going to be that as you scan over the cargo holds of the Merryweather, the sensors now go on the fritz as they detect some interfering metallurgy within the cargo hold. So now your sensors are on the fritz too. Have fun with that.
Captain, something in the sensor. There's some kind of and my console will spark, and then I'll just look up kind of hopelessly at the captain, looking over his shoulder slightly, since I can't look him directly in the eye, and I'll just shrug my shoulders. Something in that cargo hold sent a feedback loop into our sensors, I think, Captain. Some kind of metallurgical nonsense.
Right. That's no good.
But there are no life signs in the in the escape pods. Any that I was able to detect.
Right.
So
well, that's
whoever
good. At
jettisoned
least.
them clearly didn't want anything making it off the ship.
Yeah. You can't get any communication with them. No one's answering hails.
No, sir, not so far. I'll keep trying.
Let's get a couple of observers out there just to see if they're doing any old signaling tricks, light flashes, or even point-to-point laser communications.
Aye, sir. So I'll signal below decks to get some individuals to look out the appropriate portholes.
All right.
Krell, can you give me a reading on their impulse wake or anything like that? There, see if anything looks like a repeating pattern.
Yes, sir.
All right, Krell, roll for you. This is going to be an insight engineering assisted by the ship's sensors engineering. Difficulty of 4 on this one.
Ooh, okay, I'll definitely use 1 momentum.
But the good news is you would have 1 focus here.
Yes. That's good. Is it physics or warp engines?
Honestly, now that I look at your focus even more, I think you just have like 3 that apply to this role.
Yep. I am a one-track mind. ship.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I definitely spend 1 momentum to get an additional die.
Oh, real quick, I have sticky notes to this effect. Minetti, I need you to roll me a challenge dice to see if your untapped potential gives you guys even more momentum.
True. I need to remember that myself.
Listen, I have 4 or 5 sticky notes all over my screens, and I still forget it. So, yeah, so you actually get 2 momentum for your untapped potential. Well done.
Nice.
All right.
Go.
Well, then I feel better about using 2 more momentum for another die.
All right, rolling
Yeah,
So I'll do that.
literally, that's what my character's for. It's providing momentum. So
All right. So 4 die using focus.
All right,
Oh,
so there's
yeah.
your 4 you need.
nice.
And then, again, Aristotle is sensors engineering. Let's see. All right, no help from the Aristotle, but also not a complication. So, Krell, you're going to learn a few things. The first is that the impulse trail does seem to lead to Pericles 2, a Class L world that kind of resembles Mars if it still had the semblance of an atmosphere. From what you can tell, the ship did land based on the sort of remnants of dirt and dust you're detecting on the hull. You're also detecting that pretty much the ship was on a course out of the system until roughly about a day and a half ago, when all of a sudden the course and impulse trail immediately shifted towards the star instead.
Okay. As I'm analyzing that information, I report back to the captain. Captain, I can confirm that they did come from, their heading did or originate from Pericles too. That everything tracks appropriately up until about a day and a half ago, my best guess, when the ship suddenly veered into the star, started heading towards the star, complete and abrupt course correction. I don't imagine the crew enjoyed the bumpy ride at that point.
Okay. Our sensor's working well enough we can beam aboard.
And Rivers kind of looks at her console and goes, I can get you over there, sir, but you might want to take some pattern enhancers just in case.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Captain, may
Rivers, I want you. Yeah, go ahead.
Apologies for interruption, Captain. I wanted to, given that we don't know what the quarantine situation is over there, or if there's any diseases or anything, I recommend that we beam in with EV suits.
Sounds reasonable.
And one other question for our GM.
Yes.
I have individuals, looking out the windows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's a better name for windows on a ship. But are they signaling at all visually? Any kind of, lights or flashes or anything like that?
Not that they're seeing, unfortunately.
Okay. So far, no coded signals being sent visually, Captain.
All right. Well, let's have a couple of people stay on watch duty for now, just in case. Rivers, I want you to task a couple of the other departments just to see what they might be able to piece together. We're going to take a nice little adventure over to the other ship.
Sounds like you're going yourself, sir?
Of course. If the ship's compromised, maybe my command might carry some weight over there. Well, command codes at least.
You've beaten me to the juncture I was going to raise, sir, so well done there.
Yeah. I've trained a few people in my day.
Yes, in all of your 860 years.
We're getting closer.
How many EV suits should I have prepped, Captain?
Now, let's see. Manetti, Estrol, and Krell, you're all coming with me. So, 4.
And Manetti will radio down to the security team, make sure to have 4 EV kits ready, and have them assembled by the transporter.
I'd suggest we get a medical kit, an engineering kit for Krell, of course. And, Manetti, I assume you want to be making sure we're all armed. Of course, abstaining Thestral.
Thank you, sir.
I would feel comfortable with a phaser, sir. Yes. Just in case things happen to go sideways, one way or another.
Well, hopefully not. Worst case comes down to it, you guys can take my leg and use him to club someone. Sound good?
Fair enough, Captain.
I'll take responsibility for medical issues, sir.
Good to hear.
Oh, real quick, Thestral, did we update your sheet? Didn't we mess with your medicine?
We did. Let me, you know what? I didn't even look.
Yeah, double check that real quick as I do the montage sequence. So one thing I would say is go ahead and take 1 momentum off if you want to take a medical tricorder. The reason you would want a medical tricorder is it gives you an advantage on medical issues, which basically lowers the difficulty or makes rolls possible. Krell, since you are the chief engineer, you automatically get an engineering toolkit, which includes an engineering tricorder and variable tools that you can use.
Okay, so my medicine should be 2, and it's currently 1.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, you should be able to edit your character sheet, I believe. So go ahead and feel free to make those changes.
Okay, my 1 password is getting in the way here because it's a field. But
yeah,
okay, we're good.
But yeah, so I've got medical tricorder spend. Do you want to take more than your usual type 1, type 2 phasers, or you just want to stick with what you got?
I don't think that's necessary yet. We're ostensibly going to save some Starfleet folks. What about the pattern enhancers?
Since the pattern enhancers are mission critical, normally they would cost momentum, but I'm going to give them to you for free because they're mission critical.
Yeah, I mean, Manetti will just go with his basic and phaser.
Okay.
Before we head off, do we have any idea of any damage the ship might be under? Or does it look pretty like it just suddenly veered off course?
Just looks like it veered off course. I mean, obviously there's some sediment on the hull from where it landed, but it wasn't a crash landing. It was an actual like delicate landing.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
All right. So we do a montage sequence of you all suiting up within the transporter room, getting into your EV suits, making sure your gear checks out, all of that kind of thing. Rivers does come down to the transport room to beam you over herself. And as you all step onto the pad, she looks you all over and goes, "All right, sir, I'm going to put you down in the transporter room over there on the Merryweather, unless you'd like to beam somewhere else."
No, transporter room sounds good. Oh yeah, before we go, Thestral mentioned that there was no, Krell mentioned, right? One of you two mentioned that there was residue on the ship. See if you can get any traces of that and examine it too. And if we can't correct the course of the Merryweather, we may have to give it a gentle nudge in a new direction. If you catch my meaning.
Aye, sir. And she looks at Krell. I'll see to it that your other engineers are working on the impulse problem.
Thank you, Commander.
All right. Well, best of luck over there, gentlemen. And she does the stereotypical hand up on the console. You all dematerialize and then rematerialize in the transporter room of the Merryweather. It actually looks like you haven't gone anywhere except for the fact that the lighting has changed. It's now dim and flickering. Red alert is sounding, so that you've got those red flashing lights. And obviously, Rivers isn't there waiting for you. So you know you've definitely changed ships. But as you all sort of get your bearings and start to take out tricorders or do scans, the door to the transporter room experiences a very loud thud, as if something very large and something very heavy hit it. And then again, and then again, and then again. And this keeps continuing, getting louder and heavier until finally the doors burst open. And coming inside are 3 figures. But that's where we're going to take our break because I'm an asshole. So we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, everybody. Stick around. And welcome back to part 2 of the series premiere of Star Trek Aristotle. If you're just joining us, the players have found the missing survey ship, the USS Merryweather. They have determined that there is something afoot, given the fact that all the life pods have been jettisoned. The ship is on a course for the sun in the Pericles System, and that there are some mysterious sediments both on the hull of the ship and within Cargo Bay 2 of the Merryweather. So the players have decided to beam over to the Merryweather's transporter room, and where we last left off, the doors had just been battered inside as 3 hulking figures come charging into the room. Now, what I'd like you all to imagine is if you were to take the Hulk and you were to maybe make him about a half of a size. So basically the same size as a normal individual, but still like bulked out, where the muscles are bulging and the veins are popping, you know, that sort of like almost bodybuilder-esque bodies. But this is more unnatural than it is actually like they've taken time to work out that much, if you see what I'm getting at. All of them are crazed, looked in their eye. They don't appear to be really focusing on any of you in particular, but we are going to drop into a bit of structured combat here. The players do get to go first, so which among you would like to act first here?
We all look at Manetti.
I mean, yeah, I guess I would probably be the best to act first, unless anybody else has any ideas.
No, I think you're our lucky winner.
All right. Well, how like as far as action economy, how much of that will it take me to actually draw my hand phaser?
So the good news is that drawing an item is basically nothing. It doesn't really count as anything. However,
Okay, perfect.
your phaser does have charge, which means if you spend a minor action, you can apply things like the area effect on your phaser, which means it would hit all three of the figures coming charging in. But that would be a minor action. The other options you can do with a minor action is you could move. You could move within the tractor or within the transporter room. You could aim, and aiming would allow you to reroll one of the die on your d20 roll if you needed it. But you only get one minor action. So it's really just what are you trying to do, and then I'll make it fit with the rules.
I think I'll try the wide beam.
Okay, so you'll charge with area effect on your phaser. All right. Medetti, I need you to roll me a control security difficulty of 2 here.
Right. I do have the hand phaser's focus,
Mm-hmm.
and as I get momentum back pretty easy, I will spend the 1 momentum to die, just on a hope that we don't just get hulked out right now.
All right, 1 success.
One
so,
success.
I can offer you a success with a complication, or you can just choose to fail here. Or third option, you could spend your determination. And as a reminder, your determination, it is tied to a value, and as long as you can apply a value to the situation, you could re-roll as many of those die as you wish by spending determination here.
Can I attempt to use my determination with my value? Starfleet is my family.
Allow it.
Try to protect my crew.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. And is that just performing the task again with two?
If you want to roll
dice this
2, yeah.
time, or?
I think also if you hit the reroll results button in there in chat, I think it also does it, but I've never played around with it myself.
I will give that a try just to see if it works. Oh, it does. Okay. Boom.
Wow. Okay, so it looks like you rerolled everything, but even then, that's at least 2 successes, which is what matters. So yeah, actually, hold on. Yeah, that's 2. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna roll your damage, and this damage could literally end this combat right here because you've got area on it. Your phaser type 2 does a whopping 7 challenge dice worth of damage. So either roll 7 challenge dice using perform challenge, or just click the little icon next to phaser type 2. That is enough.
Oh, wow.
So Minetti,
Wide beam phaser.
I'm going to let you describe how you take down these individuals, because I think there's a little embellishing here that you should have the honor of doing.
So Manetti, seeing the how many of them are there?
3.
So seeing these 3 figures burst through the door, he quick draws his phaser and adjusts a few settings on it, and then aiming for their lower half to try and take the bottom, like, out from under them, fires a wide beam shot at all of them to take them off their feet.
All right. Sure enough, you do stun all of them. All of them fall to the ground right before the transporter pad. They are stunned and unconscious for the time being. And what I would say is that as you start to look at them a bit more, they do look like humans, just humans that maybe have been on something, if you know what I mean.
I'm going to step off the transporter pad and put one of my hands on Minetti's shoulder. So, you know, this is 2 times in a row now we've beamed in to a situation where, you know, we've had hulking crazed people. And the common denominator is the 2 of us. So one of us is attracting this nonsense.
I feel like it's likely rather me than you.
I'm glad we both agree. And he pats him on the back. Good job with the shooting. Not the approach I would have taken, but I can't argue with effectiveness.
Colin's gonna walk up and he's just gonna look at Manetti and look at the phaser. Like, Anderson was your weapons trainer back at the academy, huh?
Absolutely, sir.
Effective.
Glad it worked this time. I wasn't quite sure the settings would be correct for someone of that size.
Well, glad it was. Let's secure this room for now and see if we can access the computer and see if we can glimpse at what's been happening. Let's find a reinforced room. We can start sending them to if we need to. Actually, we need to check the cargo bay, don't we?
Excuse me, Captain. While we have them knocked out, may I take some samples and do a medical analysis?
Yeah, make sure they're okay.
Yes, sir.
And Manetti, we might have to restrain them if they wake up. Studying them may have knocked them out for now, but
restraint as a normal part of my chief security gear, or is that something
I think we
that
can say you have some kind of manacle as part of your kit. Yeah, I think we could say that. Okay.
So I will restrain them while Thestral is examining them, being careful not to interfere with Thestral's examination.
So, very important question before we have Thestral do a roll. Do you do behind the back for the restraints or in front of them?
Behind.
Behind. Okay. All right, Thestral. Very important roll here. I need you to give me a reason and a medicine here at a difficulty of 3. Now, as a reminder, you don't have any momentum right now, but you could give me threat in lieu of that. Oh, wait, real quick, Manetti, untap potential, real quick.
Oh, yes. I'll remember it eventually, I promise.
Like I said, the only reason I read it because I was looking at a sticky note that said untap potential in big Sharpie. Okay, actually, you have 1 momentum. That's, that could matter.
Yes.
So, Thestral, if you wanted to spend for 4 dice, you could give me 1 momentum, 2 threat. Or you could give me 3 threat if you wanted to save that momentum. But again, it is a reason medicine difficulty of 3 here.
The impish part of me. Let's do the 3 threat.
3 threat. You know what? Shizno's happy with you. This is what Shizno lives for.
All right,
so good episode. But I'm smiling.
All right, so I get 3 die now?
Yep. Actually, no. If you spend 3 threat, you get 4.
Okay, because I need them. This is not my forte here. Okay, let's see how this goes.
All right, 2 successes. Do you want a success with a complication?
Yes.
All right. So, Thestral, what you're going to learn with your success here is that the same sediment that was on the exterior of the vessel does appear to be within the muscle tissue and the bloodstream of these individuals. You still haven't figured out the chemical composition quite yet of what this sediment is, but all you are able to tell before one of them wakes up and headbutts you is that the sediment is within their system. So even though they are stunned and restrained, their head is still very much free. So I'm just going to roll 2d20 here. Looks like expanding that out, it is a 6, so that is enough to hit you. So let me see here. How much damage are you going to be taking here? All right, so I have good news and I have bad news. Which would you like first?
Always the bad news.
The bad news is that your environmental suit's helmet is going to crack.
Oh no.
Oh, big no.
But the good news is that you don't actually take any stress damage. Your suit takes it for you. So
Captain,
all of you real quick, all of you hear that thud and then this subtle hissing sound coming from Thestral's helmet.
That's not good.
As soon as that happens, I'm assuming I have a patch kit with something to patch that up in my engineering kit.
You do, but I'm going to spend 2 threat that when you go to pull that out of your toolkit, all you've got is WD-40 and duct tape. Apparently someone's raided your kit.
Works fine. I'm going to rush over.
Better than nothing.
And as I'm running over, you hear the big rip of duct tape as I just kind of slap it on Thestral's helmet, probably with a little too much force. Not enough to add anything, but enough to kind of give his head a little bit of a knock inside.
Mhm.
And yeah, just try and seal it up immediately.
Yeah, let's get you some momentum here. Go ahead and roll me a daring and an engineering difficulty of 0. Don't roll a complication.
Okay. I'm going to try and invoke my focus of improvisation.
Oh yeah. Seriously, don't roll a complication. It would be very bad.
All right, come on.
There you
Yeah.
go. 4 successes, meaning you get 4 momentum, bringing you up to 5. Well done. So Thestral, your suit is now sealed, but now you have just this big duct tape strip just across your helmet.
Well, fortunately,
You don't see. We know.
I don't see.
Perfect.
It could have happened to a worse team member, yes.
So Thestral's just kind of sitting there dazed on the bulkhead floor for a second, or the deck plating of the transporter room, and he's just kind of like, yeah, this day is going pretty much how I expected it. Thank you, Krell. Thank you, Commander. Someone could just help me up here, please, so I can give my report.
Reach out to grab him and hoist him up onto his feet.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Mr. Thestral.
Okay. Well, Captain, and I like kind of step away from the one that just headbutted me. Captain, very interesting. The chemical composition that we detected on the sediment of the hull of the Merryweather is also in the intramuscular tissue of this individual system.
Oh no! I told Rivers to collect some of that stuff.
Yes. I whip out my communicator immediately.
I spend 2 threat that you don't get a response.
No response, Captain.
Well, I'm hoping that they follow protocol and aren't examined with just their bare fingers.
I'll keep trying, Captain.
I'm going to whip out my communicator and try and contact them. See if it's just
same
that
thing.
close.
No reply. It's like you're not even you're not even getting like a dial tone, but in Star Trek, whatever a dial tone is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to step over to the to the transporter console and see if I can pull up the communication systems, the more powerful systems.
I have even more worse news for you. When you go to access the terminal, you see that there is a command level lockout that can be only released from the bridge.
Captain, it looks like this system's been locked out. Command level, bridge only.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Manetti,
Aye, sir.
you take point. Thestral, you'll be in the middle. Krell and me will be in the back.
Aye, sir. I'm going to be actively taking any readings I can from my engineering chart program.
Okay. Tell you what, we'll do your roll and then I'll do my roll. So Krell, go ahead and give me an insight engineering difficulty of, let's make it a 3. And let me look at your focuses here. Do you have metallurgy or something close to it as a focus here?
Not really.
We do have plenty of momentum for you to spend, though.
Yeah,
yes, that's true. Yeah, I can. If I'm trying to detect anything odd about the ship, perhaps starship maintenance, since I'd be familiar with like the standard like metallurgical composition, I'd say.
I'll give it to you.
All right, and what was the difficulty?
Difficulty of 3.
Alrighty. I'm going to buy 1 die, drop my momentum, because I have cautious engineering.
Which would let you reroll a die if need be.
If need be, exactly.
All right, don't need it unless you want a crit fish.
No, I'm gonna play it safe.
All right.
That would go against the entire cautious engineering, I'd say.
Probably. So, Krell, you're going to learn 2 very interesting things. The first is that the sediment is also within the EPS conduits of the Merryweather. And the reason I say that is because as you're looking at the readings, The Meriwether's power distribution network is operating at 150% capability, but isn't showing signs of strain.
That's fascinating. I take a look. I just kind of examined the readings for a few more, like retake it just to make sure that my tricorder is working properly. And so, Captain, the ship seems to be on overdrive, for lack of a better term. I'm reading 150% power efficiency from the conduits, and that same silicate material throughout the system.
All right, let's make note of that. We're gonna head to the bridge, see if we can find out what's going on up there. Hopefully, maybe someone's, not angry with us, considering it's a command level lockdown. But best case scenario, we find someone. Worst case, we find no one. But we're able to get control of the ship this way. And with
The
that, we
second
can get access
item-
to logs.
Real quick, the second item, which is going to become immediately relevant, is you are able to detect the roving bands of the presumed rest of the crew. You do have 3 more individuals that are coming down a juncture behind you, but if you move forward quick enough, you will avoid them.
Alrighty. And then I also add almost offhand, like as a second thought, just, and we also have to have unknown party of 3 individuals rapidly approaching our position. Suggest we move on.
So I'm going to pull up the deck schematics for the ship on my tricorder, and see if there's an appropriate place for us to duck into.
The Jeffries tubes. No roll required. There are Jeffries tubes accessible off most of the hallways. They're going to be a little bit cramped since you're in an EV suit, but it's still possible to get through them.
Okay, I'll just point, Captain, Jeffries tube, 4.2 meters off to the port side.
Okay, let's hurry up.
All right.
Andy will stand by and cover everybody as they get inside the Jeffries tubes and then get in last.
Well, this is where the fun comes, because I need everybody, one at a time, to give me a fitness and a con here to get into the Jeffries tubes without causing a lot of noise and without getting stuck in the process. So because it's the funniest thing in the world to me, Cullen, I need you to roll me a fitness and con at a difficulty of 1. I think it's possible, but not probable. Oh, and you just got a momentum from chat. See, chat's trying to help too.
Fitness and
chat.
con? Okay.
Fitness
maybe.
con, yeah.
At least it's not security.
Would you like to be fitness security? It could be fitness security.
No. Can I be fitness and command? Like, tell my body to be in shape?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Maybe it does.
Never does.
Yeah, we wish it did.
Dang those donuts. I imagine our EVA suits, too. They're not like the Discovery ones. They're like the original, like when the TOS one where Kirk was like kind of half phased out of reality.
Mm-hmm.
That silver spandex. Yeah, I'm imagining it's that type of EVA suit.
Yeah.
So let's here.
Oh yeah, the one where it looks like they have the trash.
No focuses for this.
Hey! All right, Colin, you get into the Jeffries tube, no problem. Congrats. Thestral, you're our next lucky winner. Another fitness con, difficulty of 1.
Can I make an argument for fitness science since I'm a high-performance athlete and know the physiology and anatomy of my body extremely well?
Oh, please roll a complicated.
I'm going to say
really fit.
I will say yes, but your complication range will become a 17 to 20.
Oh, we'll take it. All right. So let's see here. Perform task. 17 to 20, you said? Okay. How do I... Okay, it says complication range 1 is the default, and I have 1 in here.
So 17 would be 4.
So just put 4 in?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. And 2 die?
Unless you want to spend momentum.
No. Okay, come on. Yes!
So,
Good.
I would
No,
normally say I have
no.
good news and bad news, but it's just all bad news.
It's just all bad.
So Thestral, this para-anar Olympian, I think is some amalgamation of word I try to use there. You think you know your body pretty well, and you're again relying on your service animal that's in your helmet with you. And what happens is you hit your head on the way in, and that causes your service animal to buffer against the side of your head. So the both of you are reeling and dazed for a moment, and in the process, you thud to the ground loud enough that you hear a cry, a kind of guttural roar, and those 3 life signs are now booking it towards you.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that's not good. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna run.
Okay, so you're going to abandon the Jeffries tube and run, if I understand correctly?
Yes, I am. I am going to depend on my triathletics to
Okay.
get me out of this because it worked so well with the Panther last time.
It did. Actually, it kind of did. Like, no joke, chat. It kind of did. Yeah. Roll me a fitness, and this is definitely a fitness and security.
right.
Difficulty of 2 on this one, but you do have a
Fitness and
focus, so you got
security.
that going for you.
Fitness and security and difficulty of 2. I would definitely like to spend a momentum on this one.
Okay.
Okay. And using focus, yes.
Wow. That. I mean, you got your successes, but there's a complication. So, man, I just feel like I'm picking on you tonight.
It's okay. Pick on me.
So you get going again. But since your service animal is dazed and you're still sort of dazed, you slam into the side of the corridor before you keep running, and you crack your helmet a second time. This time, it is a much larger crack across the view screen of your helmet, and in fact, the entire faceplate shatters, except for the strip of duct tape. That strip of duct tape still has a few shards of glass or transparent aluminum, I guess is what it is. But the good news is that when you take off running, the sounds that are coming towards you do veer off, and anybody looking at a tricorder would see that the 3 life signs are now pursuing Thestral's course.
I'll take out my communicator. Thestral to Captain Cullen. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
You tell me the bad news first, but it's like you told me the good news.
Well, so Thestral's like, he's kind of shaken by that, but he's like running for his life in this uncomfortable EV suit. The bad news is I've broken my helmet and I don't need the duct tape anymore, which is still there. The good news is I think I've drawn them away. I'm gonna do my best to head to the bridge, Captain.
Find safety first, okay? Get somewhere secure and hunker down.
Aye, sir.
Minimize contact as much as possible. Keep an open comm line with me, okay?
That I can do. All right, I'm gonna look at. I've got my communicator in one hand and I have my tricorder in the other, and I'm gonna look and see if there's any kind of repair bay or engineering station anywhere nearby, or another EV suit station.
I tell you what, we can either make this a roll, or you could spend 2 momentum to make the advantage that yes, there is in fact another EV suit you could slip into up right ahead, and it's in an enclosed area, so you could potentially hide from the life signs heading towards you as well.
Let's spend that momentum and get the EV suit and hide.
All right, so you are going to be hiding at this point. All right, so let's return to the rest of the away team, and we'll sort of bounce back and forth. The rest of the away team, since Thestral has taken away the challenge for the time, the rest of you get into the Jeffries tubes just fine. Is the intention to go to the bridge at this point?
Cullen's gonna think for a moment. Manetti, Carl, do you think you can provide aid to Thestral? Make sure that they're going to make it? Get behind these creatures and stun them?
I think
Krell
that's something I can do.
looks over his unimpressive physique momentarily and says, Captain, I think I'd be more useful trying to at least get the ship into full stop from the engineering.
Well, unfortunately, engineering's all locked down with that command lockout.
I might be able
Separate
to
even
find a way to
further,
get
it's going
in.
to be harder. Well, if we can get to the bridge, we can hopefully use my codes to override anything. Or find out who did initiate the lockdown up there.
I can I can head to go assist Lieutenant Thestral. It may be best for Lieutenant Commander Krell to remain with you in case there are any complications. Jeffrey's tubes. We don't know fully the condition of the ship, so some paths that were previously open may not be accessible.
Very well. You go and give him assistance. And if you can meet back at the bridge, do so. But if you can't, don't risk anything, hunker down. And if
Understood.
Thestral starts to exhibit aggression, uncharacteristically to how his character's been so far, stun him.
Understood, sir. Minetti will start his way down the hallway that he saw Thestral run down.
Alright. We'll deal with Krell and Cullen first here. So, Krell and Cullen, you all do manage to get to the bridge via the Jeffries tubes. And when you actually get to the threshold where you would have to go through like a sealed, I forget what it's called, but it's like an iris door where it sort of seals the Jeffries tube from the rest of the bridge, you see that there is a full magnetic lock on it. Now, Krell, you could maybe get that open with a little bit of work, but the fact that somebody has mag-locked even the Jeffries tube tells you that somebody did not want anybody to get into the bridge.
That's concerning. How long roughly do I suspect it would take me?
Well, that depends on your roll. If you roll me a fitness engineering difficulty of 2 and succeed, you can get it open in a matter of minutes.
Let's see.
And interestingly, I think Starship Maintenance would once again apply here. I
Yeah.
actually could give you improvisation as well.
Yeah, I feel like that one's going to be frequently used focus.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'll do Starship Maintenance. So is it like it's an external locking mechanism that's been placed on it, or it's just been locked down, like security measures integral to the ship?
It's more like a force field has been erected over it, but it's not a true force field because this is the original series. It's more just a magnetic field is sealing it shut at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, it's been polarized.
Yeah, it's
There
making
you
it
go.
like a time. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use my engineering tricorder to
That
try
will actually
and
lower difficulty to a 1.
perfect. And I will try to momentarily depolarize the locking mechanism enough for the doors to open, and hopefully keep the field weak enough that it won't re-engage.
All right, yeah.
right,
I'm going to say a
fitness.
fitness engineering on this one.
Fitness engineering, use focus, and difficulty 1, you said?
Difficulty of 1.
I'm going to give you a threat
Oh, okay.
for an additional die.
2 successes, meaning you get a momentum back for your trouble.
Perfect.
Yes, in fact, with a little bit of luck and a little bit of work, you are able to get the iris hatch to swirl open, and you have access to the bridge.
At that, I'm gonna take my phaser out, which would be very cautious as we enter.
So the bridge of the Merryweather isn't all that different from the Aristotle in the fact that it's small, it's kind of cramped. It does look sleek and new, but it is small. But what you find is a slumped over figure in the captain's chair. He does have command pips on. He's wearing the correct uniform and all that. But without going into any gruesome details, I'm just going to say that there is a phaser on the floor next to his body.
Oh. Well, yeah. Would we just generally know what the captain of the Merryweather looks like? Like, would be able to just visually identify, like, just to confirm that it is in fact.
Well, I think that's an excellent question for Cullen. Cullen, can you give me an insight command difficulty of 1 here?
Sure. Sight. Man.
And you would have a focus here.
All right.
All right, 2 successes, meaning you get another momentum. Yeah, Cullen, that is Cameron Burton, the captain of the Merryweather. You happen to remember to look up his service record before transporting over, so you know what he looks like.
Oh, did he attend any of my classes?
Yeah, he was from about 30 years ago. Yeah.
Cullen just walks up and puts his hand on his shoulder, and he's like, "Get rest now, Captain." Okay. Let's go take a look at the logs. And he'll head over to another console.
All right. Well, the good news is that restoring command level access based on a lockout is all you have to do is put in your command codes and it overrides. But you do immediately see that there is a warning message left by the late captain. Do you wish to play it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it is audio only, and it does cut out in parts, and there's a bit of static here and there. But Burton comes over the comm and says, "This is the last act of Captain Cameron Burton of the USS Merryweather. We've discovered something on the surface of Pericles 2. It's a mineral or a substance that would greatly boost the efficiency of all power systems within the fleet if we were able to refine it and study it further. However, it's had a psychiatric effect on the crew. Best I can tell is that some of the crew is now worshipping the collected sentiment we have in Cargo Bay 2 as a god or goddess. I'm not really sure, but others are growing muscular tissue at an alarming rate, and they're displaying signs of aggression. And long story short, I've placed the ship on medical quarantine, and I've jettisoned all life pods to ensure that we do not transfer this substance anywhere else. I do not know if it's contagious, but I do feel my mind slipping away from me. So as a precaution, I'm going to be engaging a command level lockout and setting a course for the sun. If anyone hears this, get the hell out of here. Don't mourn us. Just get the hell out of here." And then you hear a phaser blast and the recording ends.
Okay. We're going to try and raise the Aristotle, see if we can get communications back with them. Hopefully no one's collected samples yet. And he's going to go over to the comms panel and he's just going to look at it and like, well, kind of wish they didn't get lost down in the other levels. He's going to try and raise the Aristotle.
All right.
Are
You
we still
actually-
monitoring? We still have an open comm link.
Yep.
Captain, do you need my help?
Yeah, about the communications panel here. I'm not 100% familiar with the layout.
Captain, I'm more than happy. You've helped me so many times in my classes. I'm happy to return the favor.
Excellent. What button do I press?
Okay, what you want to do is you want to I'm going to walk him through, aligning the arrays, and inputting the hailing code for the Aristotle.
Because I find it funny, Thestral, give me a presence and command difficulty of 2.
Yes, I can do that. Cool. Presence and command. Difficulty of 2. And I would like to spend a momentum
at the moment.
Yes, I will spend a momentum. And hopefully my communication systems focus will apply.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, 3 successes. You get that momentum right back. Yeah, you walk Cullen through the process, and thankfully, Cullen, it's not one of those calls with your grandparents where you're like, no, the other button, no, the other button, no, not that button. But the good news is actually, yes, you do manage to get a response from the Aristotle, and it's your XO. This is Commander Rivers. Is that you, Captain Cullen?
Yeah, don't touch the dirt if you've collected any samples from the ship.
Well, interestingly, sir, we're still dealing with a sensor fritz. We haven't been able to beam anything else, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, apparently it contains some type of mind-altering, maybe hive-connecting organism, either organic or silica-based. It's changed the crew into feral, hulking monsters.
Oh. Should we try to beam you out of there, sir?
Well, first we need to figure out how to get them out of the cargo bay, because that's where they're worshipping this thing. If we can lure them out, we could jettison the bay. And whatever is in there is going to be, well, one with a star soon enough. I'd like to try and find a way to save the crew.
Well, sir, just let me know what you need, and I'll try to assist.
Understood. Just wanted to make sure you guys didn't start making sandcastles and worshipping it, you know?
I mean, we still could do that, sir, if you wanted us to.
How about next go-around, okay?
Fair enough, sir.
All right, calling out. Hey, Krell. I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
unlock engineering here. Hopefully, we can limit function and control just to the bridge. So you can do the panel there to at least kill the engines for now.
Aye, sir. Should initiate a shutdown sequence for the impulse engines.
Now, Krell, as you're shutting this down, again, no roll is going to be required because you are on the bridge and you have command level access. You once again note that there is a extreme uptick in the efficiency of the impulse engines. It seems that this substance, whatever it is, it boosts the engines, it boosts power flow, it boosts a lot of things. In fact, it boosts so many things that I'm actually looking at your values here to see if I can offer you a devil's deal. Yeah, I think if you want to play into your value of I can't resist a good mystery/puzzle, I will give you a second point of determination that will persist until you use it. But you have to be against the captain's plan to jettison and just get rid of this sediment.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. I was already thinking that this is too valuable to give up. Captain, while I understand your hesitancy, whatever this material is, it seems to be increasing efficiency across multiple systems. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to check to see if phasers are as juiced as everything else is.
Yeah, the phasers are boosted tremendously so. Again, about 150% more than they should.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at 150% or more efficiency across the board. This would be invaluable to Starfleet. I cannot advise that we jettison the cargo until every other what's the word I'm looking for? Route is exhausted. Option, that's what they're saying. Until every other option is exhausted.
Noted. Good news is we know what planet they went to, so there's most likely more there. But right now, whatever this is has commandeered a vessel, infected its systems, claimed its crew and captain. My first and only concern right now is not only just for the Aristotle and her crew, but also the crew of the ship.
Noted, sir.
If we could restore them, we'll do that. If we can figure out a way to utilize this substance without having it affect the crew of future ships, so be it. But for right now, it's going to get jettisoned.
Yes, sir. I say, clearly, like, not satisfied, but also captain's orders.
Very good. Let's very briefly go check in on Thestral and Minetti. So, Minetti, you've rendezvoused with Thestral. Thestral, you've gotten in your new EV suit, no problem. However, Thestral, very, very, very important role here. I need you to give me a fitness medicine difficulty of 2.
Oh boy. All right. Fitness medicine difficulty of 2. Everyone okay if I spend a momentum on this one?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Seeing if I have any applicable foci here.
Nah, unless you got something to resist disease or resist viruses or something like that, I don't think it would help.
Okay. I might have a value to impose if this doesn't go well. So, all right. So I have 3. Here we go.
All right, only 1 success here. Do you wish to use determination or reroll?
I do. I would like to use my determination, finish what I start.
Okay.
To reroll, and
Okay.
I can reroll all of. I can reroll the
Many
2
as
that
you
aren't
want.
successes. All right, let's do the 2 that aren't successes. Does it? How do I pick out which ones?
I would just roll it manually. Just do perform task again and just set it to 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Perform task. Set it to 2. Gotcha. Thank you. One sec. Want to make sure I have everything selected right. Okay.
All right. So I'm not going to offer a complication here. So Thestral, and this is going to be interesting because you're Anar and you're not really with the violence. You're starting to feel really agitated. Not like Hulk rage or anything, but it's like somebody, you woke up, you burnt your uniform, you got sprayed by foam, you looked like a fool in front of the whole command staff. You're a little miffed, and that anger is growing by the moment.
Okay, I have a feeling I know how to manifest this. Hey, Minetti, slap him on the shoulder. This we should incorporate running from these hulks into our routine, man. I'm feeling swell AF, dude. Yeah.
I guess
Swell AF. Mad
cardio
gains, bro.
can be beneficial.
Mad gains, bro. Yeah. And I pound the console in front of me. Hell yeah.
So
Hells yeah.
I do have a question for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
I was told to keep an eye on his behavior, and I
Mm-hmm.
do have behavioral analysis as a focus.
Mm-hmm.
Would this instant change up be strange to me?
Yeah, you would be able to tell that something is very wrong.
Shit. Okay. I will. I'll look to Thestral, and I'll say first we have to figure out how to get to the bridge.
No, bro. Let's do this. I was thinking we should go to environmental control and I don't know, flood this with Axaprol or Nurazine or something to knock all these people out. I'm fine though. Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. I feel great.
So, what would be like the sleight of hand type roll to send a tricorder like Morse code message to the captain?
Let's do a daring and command difficulty of 1 on your apartment, Eddie.
Okay. I will use a momentum because I tend to get those back pretty easy.
Famous last words.
Yeah, and then I don't get it back. Okay, I don't have any stuff that would apply. Dice.
All right.
Complication.
Well,
2 successes, but a complication.
yeah, so what's going to happen is
The
Krell and
message I
Cullen...
send is compromised.
Okay, you do get compromised on your tricorders, but Thestral, you do notice Minetti playing with a small little electrical device, and you want to smash that device.
No, man, come here. What are you doing? Come here, give me that. Don't like. I'm fine, man. I'm fine. Yeah, everything is like really clear to me, man. This is great.
So this is another question.
Uh-huh.
When he reaches for it, am I able to restrain him?
We would have to do a roll, but yes.
Okay.
But real quick, what did you had, Shiznell?
Colin had asked to have open comms with Thestral.
Oh yeah, you hear all of this.
And I also get compromised, and it's just like, hey, Thestral, Colin here.
Hey, Cap, what's up?
Not much. I want you to sit down, okay?
I don't know, man. That's like, I really want to get my cardio in.
No, you're gonna follow this order. I want you to sit down, cross your legs, close your eyes, and I want you to focus on home.
I don't know, man. I want
you to focus on the sound of the wind going through the caves on the moon of Anar, okay?
Oh, I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do need to work some meditation in. Okay. So I can't use any more determination, right?
Well, that's the thing here. The captain has the unique ability that as long as he's in contact with someone, he can give out his determination.
Now, are they trying to use this determination to overpower the security officer?
Okay.
That is always the question. Good or bad?
Look, you're invoking memories of home, and I have a value called the Enar way, which is to like reinforce my pacifism, reinforce my commitment to communalism and family and community. So you're kind of touching on that right now. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, and to sort of set you all up to succeed here, this would be another fitness medicine difficulty of 3 now. But if you do spend the determination you get from the captain, and you start with 2 free successes, you only got to roll 1 more.
All right. So you said fitness and medicine?
Fitness medicine, and if you want a 3rd die, it would be either 2 momentum or 2 threat.
Would this be also me advising him with
presence command? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a 1 dice I roll, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Negotiations?
I'll give it to you, sure.
Cultural stuff? Okay.
All right. Well, there's already 3, but let's make sure, Thestral, you don't roll any complications.
Okay. Let's see here.
Brace the Zen.
All right. Yay. So that is a grand total of 5 successes, meaning you get 2 momentum back. And yeah, Thestral, maybe it's a unique quirk of Anar biology. Maybe it's just your love of home and the love of nonviolence, but you're coming down. You're feeling more like normal.
Yeah. Plus, it's Opus poking at me to, stop acting so douchey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm feeling more centered now. Captain, I don't know. I don't know if I can be trusted. But I think my idea of injecting some sort of anesthetic into the environmental systems is a good one.
It definitely sounds like a good one, but right now we don't have access to the environmental systems. If you two can get there yourselves, feel free. But, Thestral, the moment you feel that you're not in control, in the moment that Manetti feels so that you're not in control and being honest about it, he's gonna stun you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fair. Absolutely fair.
Lieutenant Thestral, do you consent to me binding your hands at the very least, in case of any outbursts? I'll bind them in the front so that you can still do your work.
That's
But
that
I
makes
wouldn't want you
I
getting a hold of my hand phaser.
I consent. Yes, I consent. Absolutely.
I'll
I'm
slap
so
some manacles on him, but I'll be gentle about it.
I'm so embarrassed, Mr. Minetti. Please accept my apologies.
Not anything to be embarrassed about. You've been compromised by some foreign biologic or silica-based agent, and it is making you act like not yourself.
Yeah, it's acting like some kind of super epinephrine or something. It's having some kind of hormonal response.
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm going to dump a grand total of 8 threat to do a reversal.
Oh no!
And the cliffhanger we're going to end on, because this is going to be a two-parter, is that across the ship, the comms open, and you all hear a stuttering, glitchy computer voice. It's not exactly the normal ship's computer voice. It's something more masculine, but also more feminine. It's really weird. Like, parts of it are more masculine, parts of it are more feminine. Can't really tell. It's somewhere in the androgynous area, but it is glitchy and staticky, and it's almost like it's like G-Man from Half-Life, if any of you are familiar, where the words are correct, but the tone and inflection are wrong. And
I was picturing Shodan.
Shodan's also a good example, yes. So I'm going to do my best example of this myself, but the voice comes over and says, "We cannot allow you to stop our greatest work." And that's where we're going to end. And we're going to go to a two-parter. So yeah, what'd you guys think? I know obviously this is a two-parter, but what do you guys think?
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Love it.
I really don't want to have to hurt Thestral. I don't want to. Starfleet is my family, is literally one of my values.
I love how the values work in this. It's amazing.
Yeah, the values are one of my favorite parts of the system, how versatile they are in terms of both mechanics and just role-playing. Like, they're a good system.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right, well, Twitch, stick around because we're going to rate somebody, but YouTube, this is where we're going to say goodbye. Bye, YouTube.